Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Cilinix Crypto, or welcome to the channel if you're new, and welcome to this video in which we'll talk about Solana. And then more specifically, we'll talk about the long term of Solana, all right? So then we're talking about, to give you a bit of perspective, I think the rest of 2025, and we'll talk about the different scenarios. And most importantly, I'll tell you my strategy, or at least my thoughts on where to buy Solana. Now, this video is going to be completely honest, all right? So at this point of time, I actually do not think that buying Solana for the long term is a good idea. However, there are some things that could happen that would make it a better idea, but we'll talk about all of that, all right? So we'll start to talk a little bit about the fundamentals. We'll zoom all the way out to the weekly time frame here to show that long-term technical strength or long-term technical structure, and then from there we will zoom in and we'll talk about those levels and where to buy, but also how to handle those buys. I'll try to keep this short on this beautiful Saturday, so I will not waste too much of your time. But let's get right into it. So before we talk about the technicals here. The most, or at least what I think is most important outside of that, is the fundamentals for Solana. All right. Do we actually have a reason in 2025 why Solana would rally? All right. Outside of just the market. All right. Because the market, I mean, you could make the argument that the market is still going to be bullish in 2025. Some people think this is the start of the bear market. Some people think we will still have a rally up. Look, Solana will definitely move up together with that or not, all right? Depending on what the market does. But at this point of time, I think that's too uncertain whether we are still going to get bullish markets, yes or no, to really bet on that with Solana. And then outside of that, purely technically, I don't think Solana looks great, all right? So we drop back down into the previous range right here. So, excuse me, but Solana has dropped back down into the range here technically, whereas first we had broken out and we actually held that as well. So this is a bearish structure break. And at the same point of time, we're also not getting much support here from the main supports that actually did provide some solid bounces over the course of 2024. So at this point of time, the uncertainty fundamentally about the markets, about the general crypto markets, and what we're seeing from the technicals, make me say that buying Solana at this point of time, long term, actually is not a good idea. Now, there's a couple of things that could happen, all right, which could still function as some sort of a catalyst or some sort of a reason why Solana rallies. Apart from the market, but also why it would rally more than the market. And those two things are basically the Solana ETF. Now, at this point of time, whether that's actually feasible and how much of an effect that's going to have is also uncertain. So again, that's not a reason why I think you should buy Solana long term right now. Or if we just simply get more bullish market circumstances and if the network statistics for Solana do great, right? Because outside of this, I mean, regardless of how Solana looks long term here, the fundamentals for Solana still mean that it's, or at least the network of Solana is still the second biggest network, all right? It still has $12 billion in stables. It still has $2.1 billion in DEX trading volume. They still make $1.12 million in fees. That's not revenue, but fees. And they're still second in total value locked. All right, so those things could definitely mean that Solana is still going to rally. But at this point of time, I will keep you updated on that. But at this point of time, that's no reason to buy. All right, so this level we're at right here, at 120, 125, purely technically, it's a great area. And you could have also seen in the last couple of weeks that we did get some solid bounces from there. But for now, that's not the area where I'm going to buy. However, there's a couple of levels where I will buy, all right? And those levels, I think, are good enough to be able to actually de-risk the positions, or at least make some profits from there. Initially, and then hold a percentage of the bag long term, all right? Because that is the idea. But the levels I'm talking about is, first of all, $100, big psychological support level. In terms of liquidity, it's not the best. You can see historically there is some liquidity, and I'm probably able to find some sort of a naked POC there as well. Yeah, there's a POC around $100 as well, but you also have the 200 EMA. Those are enough confluences for me to expect a bounce. All right, and my main strategy for Solana is to look for these major high time frame support levels, such as, well, I'll just give them all to you. It's $100, it's $85, and then worst case scenario, it's this level right here at $55, but I do not expect that level to be reached. So my main two buy areas are 100 and 85. And what I will do is I will set spot limit orders at those levels. And what I expect is that we will get a bounce from both of those. And then during that bounce, so once we bounce from 100, the main level where we can bounce to is 120, I will sell 50% of the position, all right? So to book some short-term profits, but to still have exposure to Solana. And then if we drop down lower, I'll do the same from 84. I'll buy there, we can have a bounce up to like 110, I'll sell there, 50%, and then I've made some profits, all right? So I've realized some profits with which I can do other things, but I still hold a Solana bag with a nice average entry. And then, like I said, in worst case scenario, we drop down to $55. Like I said, I do not expect that, so then we'll have to rework the long-term strategy, but that for now is the only thing I'm certain about. Now, if the fundamentals change, all right, so if some of those fundamental changes we've talked about in this video actually happen, then this level at 120 could become a good buy area, but at this point of time, it's not the case. If it will become that, I'll be back with one of these videos, but for now, I think that's everything you need to know. All right, so like I said, if you're interested in Solana short term, check out the video, check out the channel. I upload videos on Solana like 3-4 times a week at least, so keep an eye on that. But for now, have a great weekend, have a great week, depending on when you're watching this, and take care. Bye.